Hello everyone and welcome back to WARNO League Season 0. We are going into Division 2 as we are going into the semifinals here as well, with Vulcan versus Uncle Sam in the first one. And we are on Geisa for the first map as Vulcan did ban 2 lakes. The map division bans here were 82nd and KDA. The matchup that we got at hand here now on Geisa is Vulcan with 11th Plinde, the 11th parachutist, a division that he played quite a couple of times lately, whilst Uncle Sam on the other side brings around the 79th. So, two pretty interesting opposite divisions, one all about the rush with cheap units, whilst the other one is all about building up those T80 U formations, getting those expensive units, MiG-31s and so on, and then having a really amazing combined arms in the late game. But before we go in, once more, a shout out to Matcherino, where you can sponsor this, help out sponsoring this tournament, and you don't even have to take money into your own hands. You can, for example, do the sponsor quests here on the side, by visiting these websites, you add 20 cents per visited website. So as there are, for example, 4 of those quests here, you can easily add 80 cents to the prize pool just by doing that via Matcherino. And a big shout out to everyone who did it. Some people here, for example, did a sponsor quest with text now that it just added $3 extra to the prize pool. Yes, did one at BetterHelp that added 40 cents and so on. But also big direct contributions already got us up to $634. And that means we are now closing in onto the next stretch goal. $800 is the next stretch goal, so that's going to be interesting. If we can get that, then Division 2 will get more of the share. So the players we see right now, there's already a small prize pool for the winners of Division 2. Most of the prize pool is in Division 1 though, as those are the high-end players. Over $300 now for the first place there. But if we reach the $800, the Division 2 players will get a sizable first place of $50 as well. As the big thing though is that everyone who made it to the semifinals, all the players we will see from here on out in Division 2, all of these 4 players made it into Division 1 for next season, so they will play for the big share next season. But obviously you also want to win here, and Vulcan versus Ajor will be the first semifinal. So let's see how that goes, as both are readying up here, and we are about to go into some hot action in this one. On the left side, Vulcan getting a couple of Gazelle cannons ready, getting P4 PCs in the rear, and we are about to see some hot action. Best of 5. So with the map ban of 2 lakes, all the other 5 maps we might be able to see if the series draws out long. On the other side, you see Uncle Sam. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can find the Division 1 games on our main channel, on the Simulated Divisions League YouTube channel, as this is the secondary channel here where you're watching these. And yeah, here we go. The RDMs coming in on the rear, and let's freaking go. P4 over here, another P4 PC can come in for the rear, and a lot of stuff going on here. Legionnaires coming in for the north, driving in over here. And the question is, how far can the forward deployment advantage bring Vulcan here in this matchup? As 11th Para is all about keeping the enemy's combined arms somewhat low and beating them there, as their late game is not strong. They don't have a great bomber, they don't have a great artillery park or anything, and they don't have any amazing tanks. They have not even high-end helicopters. They have a lot of helicopters, but those are all low. And their strengths are in their infantry, are in their recon forces, and are in their cost efficiency with air as well. A lot of nice, cheaper fighters and so on there as well. But they lack the top end to go in for 40-minute games, so you want to end the game quickly with them. Gazelle Cannon here is trying to do that now, getting a UWATS already. Opening up onto the Retrovetka now as well. Retrovetka, the Fire Eagler, getting one Gazelle Cannon in the north though, as they can one-shot them. 4 damage versus 4 hit points. Another Igla coming around here, so that Gazelle Cannon over here is in danger as well. As the VLRA are moving forward over here. A lot of units of Vulcan in forward positions, but a good amount of defenses on the other side, and a MiG-31 entering the battlefield. Ooh, sneaky move by Vulcan in the south, a Gazelle Cannon making it through here. AML-90 trying to move through the southern part of the map into the rear line as well. Mirage 2000 stays around, tries to get some shots off. Iglas doing a good amount of damage to it, but won't be able to kill it. As the first TADU enters the battlefield. Okay, so one big boy and a lot of recon and light forces to support it. Seems to be the playstyle here of Uncle Sam for the get-go. Mirages flying further around. More AA might be needed. Might be necessary. More MiG-31s maybe as well. Mi-24V coming around in the south as the Gazelle has been seen. So one Igla hit from this will kill this Gazelle Cannon. Gazelle Cannon for 20 points though. Just an annoyance here, but gets immediately clipped out of the sky. Mi-24V, pretty helpful against those cheap helicopters. ATGM trying to get the real AR. The close range AA of 11, pretty strong with the Mistral. The best manpad in the game currently. 5 damage, good range, solid accuracy. But their long range AA is really, really bad. They don't have anything that really outranges the Mistral. They only have a couple of 20mm autocannons and then Mistrals on faster vehicles, but nothing for the long range. So that's where air superiority fighters have to win the fight. And against MiG-31s, that's not going to be easy. Mi-24V coming around here. Legionnaire Para trying to move through the forest. Pulamachiki giving a good fight here, but being pushed back. Mirage 2000 coming in. Will get the kill there on the Mi-24V. Yeah, a bit more long-range AA outside of the MiG-31s might be helpful, but MiG-31 together with Igla does the job. Okay, so that's a fine trade for Uncle Sam. Yes, losing the Mi-24V here is annoying, but that's 125 unit, 5-point units for 195-point units in the Mi-2000 fighter. Jaguar cluster trying to get the TADU. TADU did smoke after and is now trying to move away. As another MiG-31 enters the battlefield. Tries to get the Jaguar killed. Gets one connection. Can it get the second one? No, it can't. Down to 4 hit point, but the Iglas do the job. Jaguar is down. TADU still alive. Mirage 2000 tries to take revenge. Can that kill the MiG-31? MiG-31 down. That's a big loss. Those MiG-31s are key units in this matchup to stop Vulcan's air spam onto the TADU. So yeah, losing the MiG-31 is painful, as it really heavily tried to get to stop the Jaguar cluster there from getting the TADU. Did that successfully in the end, but still not sure if that is worthwhile, as there will for sure be more cluster bombers. This TADU still lives a dangerous life. Strela AA coming around. Tunguskas maybe could help out as well, as we have a good amount of forces here on the ground now. So a good amount of Superis arrive on the front line down here. Milan to Para on the other side. Legionnaire Para moving in the north. Saperi will unload. And Chasseur Para sitting on the other side. Mirage 2000 once more coming in for the Mi-24V AA. That did dive down though. Did go down. Mirage 2000 took an Igla hit here, so will be out for a while. Will take a while to be repaired. As Vulcan is on the +2, has captured all 3 zones on his side, whilst there's still 1 zone to be captured by Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam bringing out another T-62s. TADU, maybe a bit of an overkill here. TADBVs maybe more cost efficient. There's no long-range anti-tank that can kill the TADU anyways. And the firepower of the TADU is against the soft targets the same as the one of the TADBV, so maybe a bit of an overkill here, but MiG-31s and AA get another Mirage. MiG-31 now being hunted by the next Mirage 2000 though, but that would need 2 hits and it only gets the first missile out. That's a miss. MiG-31 will get out again. Su-25HE now coming in. Try to help Uncle Sam on the ground here. As Chasseur, Para are under fire. And Vulcan keeps up the pressure. Has the +2, but needs to get some more important kills here. As Uncle Sam is about to get more combined arms here, really up on the front line. TDU helicopters are around. Su-25 air support coming around now as well. Surprised to see the HE version, but it gets the kill there on the infantry. BTRs and Saperis moving forward. AA setup also getting better with the Strela. Couple of T-62s coming around in the north. Another Rachvetka, another BMP-2 Polomichiki coming in here. And the front line of Vulcan in the center already looks pretty vulnerable. Does get out of the building, so the Su-25 can't run it down with its gun. That's quite key. No ground AA around here for Vulcan. Instead, we see a Mirage F1 LGB and more Mirage 2000s. Bombing run there gets the infantry. Mirage 2000 gets the Strela. Mirage 2000 still at full hit points. I wonder if there's MiG-23 next to the MiG-31s. With only one cut of fighters, I would say Uncle Sam would be under a lot of pressure. A lot of AA here for sure needed. More than just the Strelas. Osas and Tunguskas would be quite key here. Strela, pretty solid against helicopter, and in heavy seat territory, they help out against aircraft, but the range is relatively low. The accuracy is pretty low as well, especially if you calculate ECM in there. And they only do 5 damage, which is, I guess, fine against most aircraft, as there's no armored aircraft in 11th, but they are not quite the top end AA. So yeah, here we go. Tunguska coming up together with the Strela. That should be more helpful, though I would rather like to see Osas. Tunguska great against helicopter, fine against aircraft. Like, the anti-aircraft capabilities of it ain't half bad. But against helicopters, it's especially amazing with its gun missile combo. Saperi getting stunned in the north. BMP-2 sitting in the spot. A couple of REC-90 Sagai coming in on the other side. Chilling around. 62s in the north. BTR-60 PB coming in with a good amount of Saperi RPO. And Saperis. Yeah, this is Vulcan's vantage point here, I guess. And the +4 is annoying for Uncle Sam. We'll reduce that to a +2 in a second, I guess. As the Sagai has to be careful here. BMP-2 did spot it quite quickly. Rachvetka helpful over here. And TADU obviously one-shots all of these immediately. But a lot of things one-shot these, as they only have one frontal armor. Like, kind of every tank gun with any amount of decency gets rid of these guys one-shot. So, really the perfect class cannon, the REC-90s. They are still not super cheap. Their gun is pretty decent. The range is only okay though. And yeah, their frontal armor is really, really low. The speed is their big advantage and the stealth they have. But with the Rajvetka around, they get spotted quite easily. TADU for sure can take the fight there. I'm surprised to see the TADU disengaging here. Not sure why it is running away. That's 2 now for Vulcan. But a lot of T-62s in the north. The Saperis coming up. Ooh, Legionnaire Para in a nice spot here though. Yeah, they need to unload a bit earlier. Doing so now. Strelas coming in, more Saperis and T-055s coming in. Yes. Legionnaire Para gets the BTR. The BTRs have to be a bit more careful here maybe. One T-62 goes down to the Milan. The Milan in the north, really strong investment. T-62 has to be careful there. Oh no. Oh, loses both T-62s to that. That Milan investment, if they're arriving there at this position at this time, is painful for Uncle Sam. Those T-62s, the position here started to look pretty decent again. But with that Milan taking out a good amount of these forces, the position has become a lot tougher. artillery now coming in big numbers for Vulcan as well. These are really, really cheap now. They are pretty vulnerable to counter battery, but you can get out a lot of them pretty quickly. And the Saparis get overwhelmed here. T-62 trying to push forward. Para SAS though holding the line. As the Legionnaire Para get overrun as well. T-62 M1 getting overrun here. Sapari disengaging. Strela moving into the forest. Strela 10M not quite getting hit. TADU coming around, getting under fire. And this is looking really nice now for Vulcan. Artillery landing everywhere. And yeah, with the losses on the T-62, affording the counter battery is not that easy. Okay, Nakatsuya is on the battlefield. That can do the job quite quickly here against these artillery pieces. Like 2 Akatsuyas will clean up house there relatively quickly, but it's not going to be easy here. TADU trying to move around. Also, they can live freely from the enemy counter battery, but the Motostrelki Komradi can't. The artillery landing all around them. S-25HE trying to come around in the north, trying to get the airmobile. And the +2 here for Vulcan does continue. TADU not really doing super much in this battle so far. But Redgar falling is quite the annoyance as well. As the TADU is trying to get some damage done. MiG-31 gets a kill, but gets hunted by a Mirage 2000. And the Mirage 2000 might be able to get in gun range? No. Or did it? Did it get the kill? It actually got the kill, yeah. Mirage 2000 in the end actually gets the kill there. That's painful. TADU went down in the center as well. So both of the important units now down. And that is kinda it here now. UWATS KPV in the south. Mirage 2000 flying around. And with all the big boys gone. And still solid air superiority here for Vulcan. And great positioning in the north. The Milan 2s there. Absolute key. Artillery devastating the enemy CV. I don't see how Uncle Sam is supposed to stop this now. Really strong game number 1 here from Vulcan. Really strong game number 1. With a division that is quite different than all the others. But has won a lot of cost efficiency over the last couple of patches. Like the better autocannons for their helicopters, the artillery improvement, the REC-90 now being actually somewhat decent. Like, this is a really strong show from Vulcan, and shows you why he so far is unbeaten. 8-0 in the WARNO League Division 2. For sure, showing some crazy amount of skill here once more. Sapari RPO trying to come in. Uncle Sam, I like the early setups. I like the early game. Just a couple of decisions were weird, like the too heavy investment into a TADU instead of something like a TADBV that's, or maybe even a TADB, which has the same amount of firepower for you, but doesn't cost so an arm and a leg. Like the issues a TADBV poses for 11th are basically the same that a TADU does. Still kind of needs a cluster bomber to efficiently get rid of that. And not really being cost efficient for the cluster bomber if they do so. And now the command units here die to the artillery spam of Vulcan. Vulcan chewing through his artillery reserves quite quickly here. Supply trucks all going empty because these guns fire non-stop. But that's also super annoying for Uncle Sam here. And Vulcan now on a +4. And this should be it in game number 1 here. REC-90 Sagai coming up in the north. Akatsuya trying to do some stuff here, but not quite finding the targets. BTR-60 PB coming around. Command unit as well, but Uncle Sam just doesn't have the time. And another TADU coming in here. So this is not the greatest of positions here. Coop under fire. +4 situation for Vulcan. And Uncle Sam is in a world of pain here. He is in a world of pain. Tunguska sitting around here as well. TO-55 hits the chasseur. TO-55 in the north. Engaging the AML-90 links. Not quite getting the kill though. Real RA-50 kill moving around. BTR-60 PB coming in here as well. SU-25 HE coming in for the chasseur para. Dropping the bombs. Ooh. Yeah. There are still kills to happen here for Uncle Sam, but AA is not good enough in his match, in the setup for him. Lacks the long-range firepower. Don't know why OSAS haven't been around. Now, well, Coops can help out as well, but not when they don't have line of sight. Tunguska moving forward. Tunguska, great investment in this matchup as well to deal with all the cheap helicopters. So I like the Tunguskas a lot. But we saw too little for it, and too much investment into tanks that did little, like the TADU. Really heavy overkill, and that meant that other units around didn't have the support they needed. Infantry play from Vulcan was quite key, and this position up here in the north was just super essential for this position. And Uncle Sam now trying desperately with a counter push, gets the hot with the Tunguska. Yeah, Tunguska does its job pretty well here. CV will come in once more, reduce the tick maybe, as though the Legionnaire para might get it with the Apilas. As the cluster Mirage here is on the fire. But the Coop does miss twice. Is heavily stressed out, so it's struggling to get the kill there. Mirage getting a couple more shots in, but gets killed off. Gets the kill onto the Tunguska, or Tunguska can finish it off. Coop would have been essential there for the kill, but with both MiG-31s down and so on, like this, the deck of Uncle Sam looks good for normal matchups, but it did seem like he was playing like it would have been any other division on the other side, and not quite having the setup to deal with 11th directly. So great pick here for Vulcan. Most likely a matchup that Uncle Sam hasn't played too much lately, because 11th para, even with the buffs it has received lately, is still not a division that you see super much in the ranked ladder, because it's just such a weird one. So yeah, Vulcan with great play here. Completely overwhelming the opponent by now, and this is only seconds away now from victory. So Vulcan will go up 1-0, but it's a best of 5. The way to victory is a long one, so Uncle Sam has more than enough time here to start the comeback. Still at least 2 more matches coming, as Vulcan now gets the advantage here in game number 1, with Uncle Sam not quite having the answer for this cheap, aggressive game style play of Vulcan here. And game number 1 is over. In the end, a 2-1 KD. Yeah, Vulcan really efficient there. Infantry fights in the north, really, really good. A lot of chasseur para that got a lot of important kills here. Mirage coming in with some nice kills, getting one of the TADUs. Legionnaire para doing great jobs, especially dealing with vehicles. Yeah, the French anti-tank rocket launchers on the infantry are really, really strong. That's one of the big scary parts of it. Artillery didn't kill super much, but it was highly annoying. So all of this, pretty nice. SU-25s and Tunguskas on the other side did a good job as well. TADU, as you can see, not really cost efficient. Like, they got some kills, but it's not what you want out of them. So in the end, absolutely deserved victory here in game number 1 for Vulcan. And yeah, we're gonna be back in game number 2 with game number 2 in a second. And yeah, we see you all there. Here we go, game number 2 between Uncle Sam and Vulcan, as it's 39th versus 79th. The bands are same as in game number 1. The bands are KDA and 82nd Airborne. 82nd banned by Vulcan, KDA banned by Uncle Sam. Map pick was Vulcan's here with Death Row. So let's see how this goes, as Vulcan is coming in here on the left with 39th, with 79th, a bit better top end obviously, but the other side has the better mid tier with BMP3s, a couple more air taps, a couple more helicopters, and so on. Doesn't have the TADU, so, and doesn't have the Tunguska, so the high quality units, MiG-31, all of those are on the side of 79th, but 39th has the BMP3s, has a lot of helicopters and so on, so the cost efficiency there might be on the side of Uncle Sam here, as we are going into death row. Before we jump in, once more, shout out that you can help out getting this tournament sponsored on Matcherino if you feel like these players deserve more. And yeah, we will see how this goes. And also, shout out to the 4th Friday night WARNO tournament, which has happened on the 9th of December. Me and Eugen Damned will be joining the competition once more, talking about the game development of WARNO, how all things go. And if you want to play against us there, and you want to have a 2v2 tournament, sign up. It's a 1-day tournament, maximum 3 rounds, a single elimination, just a fun, short event. We have a lot of great matches, a lot of great banter. Each of these events so far was an absolute blast, so I'm pretty sure this one will be once more. And let's see how the WARNO development is progressing. Let's hear that from Damned. Yeah, well, it's still a lot of stuff is in the works with the campaigns and so on. And yeah, also, guys, the finals are coming up next weekend, and we are still a couple of subscriptions short from me getting into a lovely, lovely NVA uniform. So if you want to make that happen, we need more subscriptions for that, guys. So yeah, up there, guys. We are still 20 shorts of me getting into a lovely Volksmarine uniform for the finals. And all of these subscriptions also help out a lot. Thanks for all the follows today. For example, Zombie Penguin already following before the stream even started. Big thanks there. And yeah, let's freaking go. All these small support bits help out quite a bit. Ooh, bit of a mess up here by Uncle Sam, but reacted in time here. Gets the BMP3 now moving. 3 BMP3s coming up. Motostralki inside of them. Rechvetka moving through the north. Coming in for classic setup. Both sides with good amount of recon. And Vulcan bringing in this couple of Spetsnaz GRU for the north together with Rechvetka. 1 Mi-8 MT. Flying really deep. Okay, stopping now a bit more realistically. Behind the lines with Estrella on the other side. Rechvetkas coming around in big numbers. 5 Rechvetkas and 1 Motor Rechvetka. A lot of recon behind that. Good amount of BMP3s. BMP 1P with the Conquerors for a classic position here as well in this building. No units in here, so Vulcan theoretically could capture them. As on Vulcan's end, we have an OSA AA and we have a good amount of units in the north. BMP 1Ps with Motostralki Medis and a T62 coming around here. A BMP 1P coming in round for the center. Couple more Medis infantry for the south. Whilst an Su-25 cluster is on the battlefield in the north. Flying around here already. Rechvetkas chilling in the rear. BMP3s here. 3 of them rolling in onto the battlefield. Coming in to wreak havoc. Really great vehicles with their big cannon. They can be quite devastating. And the ATGM on them is quite helpful against stuff like T62s. Against TDU, they for sure ain't that supportive anymore. And Vulcan with a quick action here in the north. Ooh, has to be careful, Rechvetkas. Do they get a kill on the transport? Missed twice. Third shot comes out though. Oh my... Oh, Vulcan is a lucky fella here. It's the parry, BTR, and BTR gets missed 3 times in a row. Su-25 around here for Uncle Sam, but same for Vulcan. So that's an interesting situation. But now Su-27 comes in, gets the kill. Helicopter over here dies, but that's still fine if you kill the Su-25 bomber there. SU rocket coming in, but doesn't have line of sight anymore. Doesn't get the kill. BMP-1P gets hit by the Rechvetka, but not killed off. BMP-3 is now trying to help out with that. Firing HGMs, SU-25 rocket not quite on target. SU-27 with a nice kill there, but it's a big investment as well. 280 points. That's more than 1 minute of income there invested into that fighter. Motostrucky Medis here will hit the BMP-3. BMP-3's 5 frontal armor, at least prevent them from dying to the first one. Similar situation now over here with the BMP-3 under fire. One in the north does get missed, but should smoke off and get the hell out of there. But else the Motostrucky Medis still have 4 more missiles coming in. Next one does finish the job now. The other BMP-3 is smoking off as Motostrucky push over the open in the center. T-62 in the south. Conqueror sitting around here as well. 54 points for Uncle Sam. Slight advantage there, but both sides have a CV now in the rear zone. More XU-25 action over here. Another rocket one coming in on the hunt for the Redvedka. Decided to then go for the Motostrucky Medis instead, but didn't quite have the angle to change that immediately, so we'll have to fly around a bit longer to get the kill there. CV now for Vulcan in the north. We'll get a couple more points up. Motostrucky Medis will go down though, but Osa is behind the lines. SU-25 has to be careful. Gets hit once. Okay, only gets hit once, as the SU-25 got a BMP killed over here as well. BMP-3 could maybe move a bit forward again, help out with this push, as the Motostrucky BMP currently a bit under fire here by the BMP-1P, and down to 1 hit point, so they will go down here. T-62 in the north, heavily damaged. Mi-8 MT rocket is moving forward. Odniel Porovichki also really scary. Another great unit in the 39th for that mid-tier strength. RPG 29 infantry. Great anti-tank rocket launcher, 21 damage, 60 accuracy, great range. The T-62 has little against that, so has to be really careful. SU-25 AT coming around as well, getting a kill onto a UWATS, but has to be really careful as the amount of OSAs on the battlefield now has increased by a lot. 3 OSAs on the battlefield for Vulcan now, so the SU-25s of Uncle Sam have to be really careful. They can't really come around in the north anymore. 3 OSAs with their rapid fire missiles for sure end the life of those planes quite quickly. Motostrucky still moving around here. Their RPG-7 VR also pretty capable. Gets the T-62 killed. Saperi over here trying to move forward. Odleni Porovichki have to disengage. BTR-60 PB though is exactly what is needed to deal with the Saperis here. It's 2 MGs. Can pin them down quite quickly. CV now arriving for Uncle Sam in the center. Vulcan slightly ahead in points. And we are in for a much more interesting game than game number 1, it seems. Like, way closer at least. Game number 1 was a great strategic outplay by Vulcan. But this time around, the front line is stabilizing. Vulcan under pressure in the center. For sure took some painful losses as well. His northern push here not working out anymore. With the T-62 killed and so on. Uncle Sam with the good reactions there. The OSAs though, good investments. Stopping the T-62, the SU-25 menace from completely getting out of hand. As Vulcan now is once more the one with the next CV coming up. +2 ticking in here. Whilst the T-62 is under fire over here. Motostrucky Medis trying to get some shots in. Conquers flying towards a BMP-1P in the south. And Conquerors gets the kill onto the BMP. 1P. Next BMP-3 moving forward. Motostrucky sitting in them. Ooh, an interesting flanking maneuver here in the south from Vulcan. T-62 in a scary position, but a Me-2 helicopter coming around here to spot exactly such ambushes. And the SU-25 rocket also can be quite helpful in dealing with this. Yeah, T-62 now has been spotted. Got a kill earlier here. We're not quite sure what this is. Okay, it's a BMP-3. No, yeah, it's a BMP-3 or BMP-2 even? I think that was a BMP-2 that got killed there on the way in, it seems. T-62 now heavily damaged and routed. Forced to fall back. SU-22 coming in to deal with some bombing attacks in the south. And as the OSAs are all in the north, this is staying unanswered so far. No MiG-31s on the battlefield, but the next OSA coming in here. Akatsia also coming in as the first artillery barrage hitting around here, as this is a place where you often find the enemy CV. CV is further north, but the BMP-3 is parked here, so that still might take damage. T-62 still routed, goes down to another T-62 in here, in the Soviet Civil War scenario. Whilst Vulcan wants to keep up the pressure in the north, even bringing in a CV here, but I don't think he has the support for that CV to actually be able to get a take out on here, especially with the BMP-3s around here. BMP-3 back in the line, takes some damage from the Akatsuya, not going down though, and Uncle Sam getting into a really important spot on this map. This building here in the open field is so valuable for both sides. And if you can get a recon unit in here, this is giving you a great intel benefit. Similar thing if you can get a ATGM in here, that also can pose a threat to a lot of places. So, big win here for Uncle Sam, as the SU-22s comes flying in once more, gets a nice kill, but 2 OSAs behind the lines, 3 OSAs behind the lines, 5 OSAs on the battlefield by now. Vulcan really doesn't want to get sky bullied here. That's quite the investment here. And yeah, this is looking like a really hot match here. BMP-2 chilling around over here. Motostrelki coming up. Motorvetka in the north having a nice line of sight. Yes. We are at this 50-50 scenario. And I feel like Uncle Sam is getting some nice advantages at the moment. And the big issue is though, if you give the 79th too much time, they will be able to bring in their late game. And beating their TADUs, if your air advantage is nullified by the OSAS, will be a bit tough. You still have TADBVs and so on, and with like nice flanking attacks, you can overwhelm TADUs as well. But on this map, that's not too easy to do. So you still kind of want to be the aggressor here as 39th usually. Another way maybe to play it is outspamming the enemy with artillery here as 39th if you get the cost efficiency advantage on the front line, but that doesn't seem to be the plan for Uncle Sam just yet. We're only 10 minutes in though, so still a lot of time for both players to get action done here. But at the moment the front line is stabilizing a bit. And a bit of a stalemate is coming up. Motostrelki, nice snipe with the RPG, 7VR in the north here, killing off a BMP-2. Bit of movement around here at the flank from Vulcan as well. BMP-1P and Saperi moving around. BMP-1P wants to get behind the enemy lines. I'm not sure if it has enough fuel to do so though, as it's chewing through its fuel quite quickly here. And this is a lot of forest area to move through. So I feel like this BMP-2 will just BMP-1P will just be stranded back there with no fuel in a second. SU-22 coming in once more, but the OSA battery now should be more than capable of dealing with this. First hit, second hit, there you go. SU-22 bites the dust in the south. SU-27 coming in as well, but that plane should be really careful here as well. I'm not sure why this came around. Yes, you can resupply fuel, but there's no resupply unit around here. Next closest resupply unit is the Zero over here, and obviously it's not really worthwhile to resupply this BMP-1P behind those lines. Like, getting that there would be quite expensive. BTR sitting around. Motostrelki BMP at the front line. SU-22 coming around for north. Motostrelki getting some nice bombing hits in. Ooh! SU-22 gets cleaned out. Yeah, these SU-22 bombing runs are not efficient anymore. You need to deal with the OSAs before you continue this. Otherwise, you're just hammering away your points here as Uncle Sam. Yeah, this SU-25 here, for example, should be really cautious as well. OSA trying to get a missile in. At least that one gets thwarted by the SU-25 getting out of line of sight, out of trajectory for that missile to follow. So Uncle Sam will save that for now, but the SU-22s are not the way now. Something else has to do it. T-62 ammo coming in the rear. Let's see how that goes. As we will get a bit more forces around the north now, but still nothing that really allows for major offensive here for Uncle Sam. still also no big tanks on the other side. BMP-2s coming in. 2 Akatsias by now though, so the artillery advantage currently is on the side of Vulcan. One big issue that you got with 79, if you go early on into artillery though, is that you have a pretty expensive support tab costs. So investing a lot into artillery means that you might run out of supply relatively early on. Artillery play, easier to afford with 39 for sure, where you often can fit in 3 supply cards versus usually only 2 supply cards on the side of 79. Saperi RPO coming around in the north. But Conquerors coming up on the front line. Besnat GRU coming around. 62 behind. Recon units operate as... All recon units operate as artillery spotters in this game. Motos Relki, BMP sitting around. Motorajvetka coming up as well. So yeah, all recon units improve the efficiency and the effectiveness of artillery. The Peri RPO getting hit. Ooh. Nice hits on the Saperi. Su-25 coming around, getting the BMP. Another Akatsia. 4 Akatsias now. Like, Vulcan really wants that artillery battle to go on. But as I said, like, his first 2 Akatsias, one of them already running pretty low on artillery shells. And it's still 25 minutes. I wonder if he can keep that battery up continuously. Or if that might not be a bit too expensive to run. As it is allowing for a push in the north right now, though. Artillery being annoying. Ooh, T-62 might come in a bit too quick here. Atleni Podorichki and Motostrelkis in a nice position. Motostrelki gets an RPG in, but the T-62 gets it killed before a second shot can come out. Saperi's here maneuvering as well. Saperi RPOs versus Saperi's. Su-22 coming around with another bombing run. Doesn't get the bombing run through though, and then yeah, the OSA position in the rear is just too strong. Su-22 is for sure a bit of a waste here, as more T-62s come in on the other side. And we still don't see a single big tank. I'm really surprised by that. Gatsias coming around, trying to hit the Motostrelki. Maybe Vulcan a bit too used to seeing... But the OSAs are an efficient AA network. Like, Su-25 AT will have a rough time if the OSA positioning is correct to even kill a TDU as long as you keep the smoke up. You don't get that many cluster bombers. Like, maybe that's his worry. Being used to team game cluster bomber runs and so on, that TDUs are not super worthwhile to bring. But in this matchup, I think they're pretty great. As long as you keep the smoke up and keep the OSAs around. It's pretty tough for the enemy to kill them. Yeah. Mi-8 goes down to the OSA. OSA going a bit deep maybe now. T-62 still trying to help out. Artillery shells landing all around. Artillery shells in the center also doing some damage. First Akatsia out of ammo now though. A resupply is needed now. Ural going in for the north. 2 more MTLB snaps coming in here as well. So yeah, the supply already being depleted heavily in the front line. Like, a lot of the Ural snaps already being brought out. Saperi and Otleni Porovichki moving forward here. Rajvetka holding the line. T-62 moving around. T-80BV now for Uncle Sam. The first T-80BV, or T-80 in general, on the battlefield for either side. And it's actually on the side of the 39th here. As we get T-80Bs on the side of Vulcan. Ooh, that's a unit we see really seldom. As if you compare them to the T-80BV, T-80BV only costs 25 points more and brings 3 more frontal armor, which is a big, big difference. Outside of that, they are identical, but the 3 frontal armor means that in a direct fight, the T-80B does only 1 damage to the T-80BV on max range, but the T-80BV does deal 3 damage per hit. No, 4 damage per hit actually even, to the T-80B, so... those gunfights, especially on the longer ranges, are really unfortunate for the TADB, and even when it gets closer, the TADBV still holds up pretty decently there, and starts to get into one-shot territory relatively quickly against the TADB. So the cost efficiency of the TADB not really there. The 25-point difference, I rather would bring TADBV in this matchup. I mean, they're, I guess, somewhat fine against the T62s, but even there, they take some damage for sure. Whilst the TADBV can't even be penetrated by the T62s on the long ranges. So, with the current prices for TADBs, it's most of the time not really cost efficient to bring them around. Like, these need to go down 10 points or so. If they would cost 190, 185 points, would be a different story. Meanwhile, artillery trying to land in the north. Spetsnaz 3RU on the fire. BMP2s in the rears. Yeah. I think it's... Oh, there we go. First TADU now out. More OSAs coming in. Frontline still pretty silent. Uncle Sam with little initiative at the moment. Like, the airplay was the idea, I kind of guess. Oh, TADB on the other side as well. Okay. I guess using those was the idea of Uncle Sam, but the heavy OSA play caught him a bit off guard and left Uncle Sam without much room for maneuver as well. Akatsia is now trying to kill the Saperi leader. Artillery really flying all over the place. As the first Ural snap has come around, an MTLB supply here as well. Another MTLB supply already used up fully. This one being close to it as well. But for now, the Akatsias have ammo. On the other side, we see the first couple of Akatsias coming around as well. Ooh, being counter-batteried. But good moves here by Uncle Sam, not letting that happen. Su-25 rockets now trying to come in again. The OSA battery on the other side, though, is still pretty strong. Good amount of T-62. 4 T-62s up here. On the other side, 1 T-62 and 2 T-60Bs. So, a big stalemate here in the north between Uncle Sam and Vulcan. And the Su-25 rocket in the north moving around. Strela on the fire. Su-27 AA flying around. More moving around here. And what can the Akatsias do? Akatsias trying to kill more units here in the front line, trying to allow Vulcan to move in here. But not quite achieving that just yet. Spetsnaz actually might... Yeah, that artillery has to be careful to not do any friendly fire here. Saperis under fire by T-62s. Spetsnaz and T-62 have AT here. The M models moving forward. Saperis on both sides. The RPO of Vulcan go down. Artillery landing a bit behind the forces of Uncle Sam now. Good movement by Uncle Sam. Keeping moving is the best way of dodging artillery. Just making it hard to predict where you are. Lost one unit to the artillery salvo there, but in general, not the most effective one. Now, has to be careful to not overextend here. TADB firing into the south, T-62s around here. One of the T-62s in the north goes down. The T-62 on the other side gets the kill. Saperi goes down as well. Yeah, the retreat has to come now. Mi-8 opening up fire against the TADB. Rockets not super efficient against the frontal armor of a tank though. So the damage comes in really slowly. Mi-8 MT already chewing through all its rockets. Does a lot of stress damage but doesn't get the kill. T-62 here though, doing a good job. TADB being pushed back. A couple more T-62 moving around. Now a T-ADU is around here though. And that is a scary opponent. Up there in the north. T-62s in the south. Chilling out. Saperis sitting in the open. Su-25 still not having found an angle where they can come in. With all the OSAs on the other side. Still pretty tough to get any kind of damage onto the enemy. That's the Akatsias on the left side for Vulcan. Continue their fire. This one though nearly out of ammo once more. Akatsia in the rear for Uncle Sam. Single one. Trying to do some damage as well. Eating up a lot of supplies here too, though. Whilst the SU-25 comes around. Ooh. AA gets the hit. SU-25 getting hit as well. MiG-23 is trying to come in, getting a nice kill. AA on the side of Uncle Sam, not too amazing. No SU-25 around right now. So that MiG-23 investment... Oh, there we go. SU-27 comes around as the MiG-23s turn around and gets the double kill. Big kill here for Uncle Sam. Cleaning out two pretty expensive units there on the other side. Loses one SU-25 rocket, but that's kind of okay. Akatsias now trying to hit up the north for Uncle Sam as well. The artillery on Vulcan's side continuously fires. Did deal a decent amount of damage, but it's not world-altering in its damage. And Uncle Sam is continuously moving around here as well, so might dodge another shot quite nicely here. And TADB move forward as well. 62 is in the rear. Couple more Saperis trying to move in. AO missed the zombie. Good dodges here. Artillery not quite getting the kill. Motostrelki under fire. BMP3s and TADBVs moving back as well. Not get hit there. But this part of the map is pretty open. Actually, Uncle Sam with a bit better recon. Sadly, does lack recon here right now. The one recon unit here went down to artillery fire. If Uncle Sam would realize that, he could push into this tree line. And if you have this tree line, you can start to become really annoying to the enemy. Like from this hill and also projecting power down to the south from this forest line can be quite brutal to the enemy. So that's quite nice. MTLB snap has to come in here. It's the Akatsias archering through the ammo. 15 minutes still remaining. It's a pretty clutch game. Another CV arriving here for Uncle Sam. So Uncle Sam planning for some aggression in the north as well. Brings in a TADBV as well. T-62s in the north, all cleaned up. TADBV from the center is moving northbound as well though. And only one TADB here remaining. As the deaths on both sides are pretty brutal. Saperi Comrade trying to come in here now. On the other side, Saperi's moving forward though. TADB does unload. Does move forward, and that's the problem. No anti-tank in here right now. No anti-tank at all. MTLB snap. Trying to come into this terrain. Akatsias for once are not shooting. Or at least not all of them. One of them still opens up fire. TADB's here getting a nice amount of kills. TADBV though moving forward towards that position. Motostrelki's coming in. So that TADB is in danger. But Vulcan gets back to a +2 at least for a while. CV here though gets flanked by the Saperi RPO. TADB maybe a bit too late to come around to save it. Motostrelki under heavy fire here by the flamethrower units as well. Saperi Comrade at least gets pushed out of the forest. Now TADBV aims first. TADB is routed, so the TADBV should be able to finish the job. Nice kill there. Motostrelki go down as well. Saperi Comrade gets sniped by the Akatsias in the rear. So Uncle Sam does kill off a lot of forces here of Vulcan relatively cheaply. And Vulcan only got 30 points out of this, which is not a lot of points for such a big investment. And maybe allows Uncle Sam for the first time to counterattack here in the north. The Mi-8 helicopter is a bit annoying, but there is a Strela, there is an Igla, so that can be dealt with. And a good amount of infantry, good amount of tanks with TADBVs, also relatively high quality. The TADU here is a problem, but 2 TADBVs can overwhelm that. Whilst one of the Akatsias without ammo is now moving even further forward. Not quite sure what the Su-27s are here for, but they are entering the battlefield. A lot of OSAs still around on the other side, so getting them to do a lot of stuff is highly unlikely. OSAs aiming up, one gets a shot out, does miss, so at least getting one more missile out of the enemy that has to be resupplied. TADUD coming up to the front line now as well. Really expensive unit. Meanwhile, TADU over here under fire, artillery fire, hitting the Motostrelkis as well. Great hits with the Akatsias here, forcing back the TADU, stressing it out, so making it pretty inefficient in dealing with the TADU BVs that are moving in here. Or at least a risky unit to use now, with damage taken and so on. But Mi-8 MT does a good amount of stress damage to the TADBV here as well. Not so much damage itself, but still is annoying enough that TADBV now will have to be more careful in moving forward as well. Strela though comes in for the Mi-8 and should be able to finish that job. Otherwise the Igla might be able to do it. Igla aiming up, gets a shot out, gets the kill. TADBV moving in the north. Motostrelkis with this RPG 7VL sitting around here, so the TADBVs have to be somewhat careful, but more and more units pushing in here now for Uncle Sam. CV for the next zone is in here as well, and there's still 11 minutes. This the difference is only 200 points, so there still can be a lot of changes in this game's trajectory here. Everything is still pretty open here. TADU hitting the Motostrelki. As the SU-25 goes down, the OSA swarm still quite efficient. One went down. BRDM sneaking around for Vulcan here in the north. That would be quite interesting if that can make it to the enemy zone and somehow neutralize it. Maybe getting Vulcan a couple of extra points. Motostrelkis over here on the attack. Saperis should move in there for the TNT throw. I'm not sure the TADBV moving in there is the right choice, as the RPG will be able to do some damage there. It's only a 7VL, so it only does 1 damage per hit, but that's still annoying. The TADBV is moving forward. TADU-D, actually, at the same time, gets good hits against Motostrelkis over here. And the two TADBVs for sure can't face this head-on down here. The TADU and the TADU-D are a bit too strong to be faced head-on. It's 2 TADU-Ds by now. Cluster SU-24 coming in, but the amount of OSAs will absolutely delete this out of the skies. 4 OSAs still up here, 1 Strela sitting around here as well. And it's now 10 minutes remaining. CV of Uncle Sam not moving quite yet. TADBV coming around as well. Motostrelki coming up in good numbers. Akatsias in the north. Hitting all around as well. And this is a pretty clutch game. Pretty close one here. So let's see how this goes. Artillery from the rear. Trying to hit Strela and Osa. TADUD moving forward. TADBV getting heavily penetrated. Only gets the TADUD to 1 hit point. Doesn't quite get the kill. Next TADBV coming around, trying to finish it off. Yeah, 2 versus 1 in close range. The TADBVs can overwhelm the TADUD. TADUD is still pretty good against those kind of tanks. Smoke push now coming up. CV now slowly moving forward. 8 minutes 50 remaining. TADUD over here being pushed back as well, down to 2 hit points. MP3s and Conquerors trying to prevent them from doing too much of an open maneuver over here. South completely idle at the moment. All actions happening in the north. As the SU-27 tries to come around for some SU-25 clusters. Already gets hit though. Gets killed off. SU-25 1 down to 2 hit points. So that might go down relatively quickly here. Strela not with the hit. Strela gets the kill, but cluster bombers also get the kill in the south, down below. Both TADBVs go down. TADU is down as well, but without the BVs, Uncle Sam is missing some active maneuverability there. Another TADB coming up instead. That's for sure not the same. We talked about that earlier. It's nowhere near the same. Akatsia over here, moving forward. The other 3 still firing actively. Still trying to snipe the enemy CV in the center. Not successful with that though so far. As another TADB comes in here. And the Akatsias continuing fire away onto the enemy TADU. Recon getting the spot there. As the CV is trying to come in here for Uncle Sam. Still 200 points short. And in the playoffs, you need a 1-point advantage to win. If it's a draw in ranked rules, that doesn't matter. You need a 1-point advantage to win. So Uncle Sam still has to change that, as TADUD's moving up in the north, TADB coming in as well. BMP3 will move in here. Katsia now moving backwards. BMP3 rolling in. And we are close to attack. Yeah, if it's equal score, the last person that got a tick is the one that will get the W. TADU being pushed back here. TADB coming in as well. BMP2 on the fire. TADB gets the hit in here. Smoke off from Vulcan. TADB disengaging. The parry RPO and Motostrelki moving around here. Moving around the ridge. Motostrelki coming in here. TADB rolling forward. BMP3 coming up here as well. Motostrelki under fire. Will get most likely killed off in there. Yes, there we go. They bite the dust. Ooh, Motostrelki getting a nice kill over here. Bombs landing all around. TADUDs and TADB moving forward over here. S25AT trying to get the gun run onto the Saperi Comrade. Not quite successful at that though. So this +2 is up for Uncle Sam now. And that's 80 points per minute. So that would absolutely be enough to win the game if it stays at that. But it's a fragile thing with a TADUD already coming up here. Artillery landing all around that Saperi Comrade as well. Cluster bomber trying to get the kill as well. Airplane, SU-27 taking the totally wrong turn here. Osas once more on top of it, getting the kill. So the SU-25 cluster is still around. Still has its cluster bombs as well. Motostrelki hitting the TADB. TADUD down to 2 hit points. TADB goes down to Vulcan's own artillery. Strela gets the kill onto the cluster bomber. Cluster bomber also does miss the TADBs. TADB aiming up onto the TADUD. Gets the kill. TADUD does good damage, but next CV is in here. Next cluster bomber coming in as well. One of the TADBs, the hit one, will die to it. But Saperi Comrade is an infantry leader. That one won't die to this. Oh, it stays outside the zone though. Will lose the tick again, and the artillery is coming in pretty close to getting the kill on top of the Saperi Comrade. There we go. Saperi Comrade is down. As SU-25AT and SU-25 cluster come around here. Another TADB bites the dust. Is there another CV coming up here in the north? No, not just yet. Uncle Sam should have planned for that equation and should have already bought another one. Because it was kind of obvious that that attack onto it would happen. Artillery in the rear. Still having some ammo. Gatsias got resupplied. The one over here as well. Good amount of supply used up there. As the Strela desperately tries to get rid of these SU-25s here. They for sure won't come around another time. Both damaged. Both will take a good while to repair. TADB trying to help out against the Saperi. RPO 3 minute 30 on the clock. SU-25 coming around. Me-8 and Me-2 flying around. Saperi coming in. SU-25AT coming in. Whoever has more points wins when it is a draw. And if it's exactly the same amount of points, the one who ticked last does win. Like if it's 276 to 276, the one who got there, who got the last tick onto the 276 will win the game. That's the tiebreaker there. TADB moving forward. That's the tiebreaker we used for all Steel Division events in the past as well. And that's the one we're using here as well. TADB on the fire. Motostrelki Verzretka on the fire. Is the CV on the way? Yes, CV is on the way. Still a good bit off. We need, with nearly 100 point difference, we need 1 minute and 20 seconds of ticking here. Motostrelki and Saperis moving in to help out against the TADBV. And that's what I was talking about. TADB versus TADBV. Relatively unfair matchup. TADBV takes a lot of damage, does a lot of damage to the TADB. The other way around, not so much. Motostrelki really needs to get on top of this. MTLB can be really helpful. Strela as well. Ooh, push in the center as well here. BTR has to be careful to not move out of the zone. D62 coming around. Conqueror's moving up as well. All-out attack now from Uncle Sam. CV still around here. Maybe the artillery should try to snipe that. It's going for a TADBV instead. Motostrelki could get pretty close there though. And the next CV is coming up. Oh, Motostrelki getting a nice shot. TADB getting a shot in here as well against the Motostrelki. Motostrelki does deal some damage back. Motostrelki over here getting reloaded. Saperiapio gets a pin. TADBV down to 1 hit point. Gets the TADB over here though. CV still a good bit out. Oh, that's a long run. Oh no, it's only 1 minute 20. Not the time here. CV needs to fall in the north now. Uncle Sam needs a +2. I don't know why he unloaded back here. That's too long time. The time is too slow. The tick is too slow if he gets in now. Letting the Saperi Comrade walk here is a big mistake. He could have driven up here at this point and just unloaded back up here. And he would have gotten it, but... this Comrade will arrive here too late. TADB moving up. If he gets the CV, it still might be enough. If he gets a +4, it still might be enough. He's coming in so slowly. Oh my god. Oh, what a big mistake. To unload it like that. Even if he gets the CV now, it might not be enough anymore. As it's only 35 seconds now. And it will take a while for this to capture the whole zone. And yeah, he doesn't get it now. And with that, Vulcan will still have more points in the end. 23 seconds. Saperi Comrade really close to falling. And that's unfortunate. If the Saperi Comrade would have just driven in here and unloaded right here instead of taking that detour and then unloading this far back and then slowly moving forward, it would have been good enough. He might even get the CV here now, but it's only 3 seconds, so it doesn't really matter. Wouldn't get the zone in the north. And with that, Vulcan has 50 more points. And Vulcan gets the W here in the end. Uncle Sam gets punished there for a slight mismovement of that unit. And yeah, that unload was at the wrong position, meaning that Vulcan is up 2-0 now. And really close to finishing off the series.